On April 4, 2025, America stands at a life-or-death crossroads. On one side lies the shadow of decline. Rusted factories standing silent from Ohio to Michigan, long lines of unemployed workers queuing for aid in the biting cold, and home prices soaring from $200,000 in 1985 to $600,000 today, turning the dream of owning a home into an unattainable luxury for the younger generation. This is the America of forgotten communities. Small towns once buzzing with laughter, now echoing only with the wind whistling through empty streets. Children growing up watching their parents grapple with joblessness and despair. On the other side shines the light of hope, the roar of machinery and revitalized factories, workers reclaiming their dignity with every shift, and an economy no longer manipulated like a puppet on the chessboard of globalization by foreign powers. This is not a fantasy. This is the reality Vice President J.D. Vance confronts as he takes the stage on Fox and Friends this morning, defending the Trump administration's Liberation Day tariff policy. For him, this isn't just an economic measure. It's a declaration of war against 40 years of globalization that have drained the lifeblood of the American middle class. A promise that the United States will no longer be a cash cow for nations like China, where suspiciously cheap goods come at the true cost of dependency and loss. Liberation Day is not just a dry set of statistics on paper. It's a fire shaking Wall Street to its core, where investors nervously watch stock prices swing by the minute, from U.S. Steel's shares dropping 3% to Apple's tech stock rising then plummeting again. It's a policy splitting the media down the middle. CNN brands it an economic disaster, reigniting inflation, while Breitbart hails it as a saving breeze for the working class. But above all, it's a ray of light for millions of everyday Americans. The mechanics in Dayton, Ohio, the steelworkers in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the single mothers behind the counters of diners in Lansing, Michigan, people exhausted by empty promises from Washington across generations of presidents. J.D. Vance, who grew up in poverty in the Rust Belt, witnessing his family and neighbors struggle with unemployment, addiction, and the pain of a shattered American dream, doesn't flinch from the tough questions posed by Lawrence Jones. He says the first Trump term is proof. Tariffs didn't ruin the economy. Inflation was just 1.5%, growth hit 3.5%, and 500,000 manufacturing jobs returned between 2017 and 2020. Then came 4 years under Biden, and we saw the true cost of globalization. National debt ballooned from $28 trillion to $35 trillion. The trade deficit hit $1.2 trillion in 2024, and an America on its knees begging for goods from China, from medical masks to car parts. Vance doesn't stop at numbers. He paints a broader picture. America must choose between being a playground for multinational corporations, where Wall Street celebrates profits from outsourcing jobs overseas, or rising to reclaim economic sovereignty for Main Street, the heart of the nation, where small diners, sawmills, and family shops once formed the backbone of communities. Do you feel Main Street is being forgotten, as Vance claims? We want to hear your stories, from small towns to big cities. Leave a comment below, hit the like button if you believe America needs a change, and share this video to spread the message. Together, our channel is aiming for its first 1,000 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button to join us, because your voice is the power to revive America. Fox and Friends. Interview, a riveting dialogue. Lawrence Jones starts the conversation. Welcome Vice President J.D. Vance to the show. The last time we met face-to-face, you were still auditioning for this role. Now, you're here, tackling the biggest issues facing the American people. President Trump's tariffs promised to lower living costs and bring manufacturing back home. But how do you keep prices from skyrocketing, sir? At Lawrence. Look back at President Trump's first term. The experts screamed that tariffs would spark inflation. What happened? Inflation was just 1.5%. The economy grew at its fastest pace in 20 years, and manufacturing jobs came back. Then came 4 years under Biden, and we paid the price for globalization. A national debt of $35 trillion, a trade deficit of $1 trillion, $200 billion, and reliance on China. From cheap steel to electric car batteries, over the past 40 years, factories shut down, home prices tripled. From $200,000 in 1985 to $600,000 today, making it a pipe dream for the average worker to own a home. This is an economic revolution to reverse that. Lawrence Jones. But people living paycheck to paycheck are worried. They want to support patriotism, but an extra $3 on every item, from milk for their kids to gas for their car, is a huge burden. How will the government offset this? Is it temporary or long-term? Vance. I know what it's like to live on every last dime. I grew up in a family like that in Ohio. We're not just slapping on tariffs and leaving people to fend for themselves. In our first year, we've subsidized food and energy. Eggs dropped 60%, from $5 a dozen to $2. Gas went from $4 to $2, 50 cents a gallon. Biden left us with the largest peacetime debt in history, $35 trillion. And inflation hit 9% in 2022. We can't fix it overnight, but we're cutting regulations, lowering energy costs, so people feel the relief in their wallets. This is a long fight, but we won't let China keep manipulating America. The interview quickly hits the divide between Wall Street and Main Street. Yesterday at the Rose Garden, hundreds of workers, from young new hires to retired veterans, cheered as General Motors announced 2,000 new jobs at its Detroit plant, nearly shuttered in 2023. Vance drives home the point. Wall Street is trembling because they're losing profits from selling America short, but Main Street sees hope. China slaps 60% tariffs on our goods, manipulates its yuan to choke our businesses. 5 million manufacturing jobs vanished from 2000 to 2020 because of that. Now we're taking back what we lost. Opposing voices, criticism, and rebuttal. Not everyone is optimistic, economist Paul Krugman wrote in the New York Times. Tariffs will raise consumer prices 5 to 10%, from TVs to clothes, hitting the poor hardest. Inflation could climb back to 7% like in 2022. Wall Street financiers fear tech stocks will tank as supply chains from China falter. Vance fires back. They forget globalization already killed Main Street. Cheap Chinese goods don't offset the 5 million manufacturing jobs lost, or home prices tripling in 40 years. Tariffs aren't a burden. We're cutting taxes for companies that produce here, penalizing those that ship jobs overseas, and offering short-term subsidies to protect people. Krugman can pontificate from his cushy office, but I've seen my family struggle when factories closed. This is a comprehensive plan for America to stand on its own. Are you with Wall Street or Main Street? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We read every one to understand where you stand. If you see this policy as a lifeline for America, hit like and share to spread the word. Our channel needs its first 1,000 subscribers to keep bringing you raw analysis like this. Hit subscribe to join us in building a community fighting for the American dream. Liberation Day is far more than just tariffs for J.D. Vance. It's a bold stance on the issues that keep Americans awake at night. Take the border. He proudly notes that illegal crossings have plummeted by 95%, a hard-won victory, though he doesn't shy away from the fight ahead, vowing to take on leftist judges who blocked deportations of MS-13 gang members, confident that an appeal to the Supreme Court will secure a win because, as he puts it, Americans deserve safety. Then there's TikTok, a double-edged sword in today's digital age. Vance explains they're reining it in to stop Chinese espionage, but with a careful hand, preserving it as a platform for the youth, saying, "We're not banning it, just managing it smartly." He also shines a light on Elon Musk's role, crediting him with slashing 20% of the federal bureaucracy through the DOGE initiative, and reassuring that even if Musk steps back, the mission to streamline government waste will charge forward unabated. As the administration nears its 100-day mark, the proof is in the pudding. Gas prices have tumbled to $2.50 a gallon, eggs have dropped from $5 to $2 a dozen, and auto plants, once on the brink of closure, are now buzzing with new shifts. Tangible signs that the promises of Liberation Day are starting to hit home. When Lawrence Jones presses about a 2028 presidential run, Vance laughs heartily. I'm not thinking that far ahead. I'm focused on the 2026 midterms. If we do our job right, America will be stronger. That's all I care about. Safe communities, my generation affording homes, raising kids without pointless wars. For workers, Liberation Day is hope. For those scraping by, price fears linger. Vance reassures. We're not abandoning anyone. Biden left a mess, but day by day we're rebuilding America, stronger, self-reliant, and fairer. Today, America isn't just choosing between tariffs and prices. It's choosing between being forgotten or remembering who we are. From snow-covered Rust Belt roads to golden Midwest cornfields, Liberation Day is a reminder that the American dream isn't dead. It's just waiting to be awakened. At a time when debt weighs heavy, borders once wavered, and China still looms, the question isn't whether we can win, it's whether we dare to stand up. What do you think?